Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch. Hey guys, it's me, Julian Greystoke. Imagine that, back again. Today I'm wearing Zelda and Midna, my ladies. And we are going to talk about Promised, which is the final book in the Birthmarked trilogy, which I have been slowly reading. If any of you have been paying attention, here's another video that's gonna get like 6 views because, like, it's the final book in a trilogy that no one's heard of. But I'm a finisher, so we're gonna talk about it, okay? Okay. So to recap, the Birthmarked series follows Gaia, who is a midwife in a post-apocalyptic type world. In the first book, she was chased away from her home, which was like, there was like the haves and have-nots, the inner city with the walls and the rich people, and the outer city with the poor people. And there's like no water, the people in the inner city control the water to the outer city. And Gaia had to leave there because of reasons. Go read that book if you want to know the reasons. In the second book, she encounters in the wasteland this other group of people who are surviving, except for they've got problems because they're losing their ability to reproduce. And Gaia causes trouble for them and winds up as their leader. And then there is this book in which Gaia returns home with her new people in tow because they had to get away from their old place where they lived because it was bad for them, it was causing their birth defects and all this stuff. So she's bringing her people back to her old home. I feel like that's a terrible idea. I feel like maybe that she should instead go somewhere else and just like try her luck in the wasteland finding something else, but yeah, it's whatever. Gaia, this is her choice. And of course when she gets there she finds that things are even worse than when she left, and she has to decide if she's going to stand up and be the true leader and the stereotypical teenage girl overthrowing the evil government that we need and knew was coming. Okay, let's talk about Promised. So, it opened up, and suddenly Gaia is Katniss. Like, when we open on Gaia, she is like hunting with a bow and being a badass, and I was like, hold on. The reason that I liked Gaia is because she was not your action hero chick. She was a thinker. She was kind of a follower, which could be a problem sometimes, but eventually she would get pushed to her limits and she would take charge, but she was never Xena Warrior Princess. This book definitely feels like it is trying to capitalize on the success of Hunger Games more than any of the other ones. Has a very Hunger Games feel, including morphing Gaia into more of a Katniss-like character and the conflict being somewhat similar to the final conflict in the last Hunger Games book, with less impractical booby traps, I will say that. The main big thing in this book, the bad thing that's happening, is that rather than just taking babies from the poor people outside and adopting them into the rich people's culture because they can't have babies, now they are doing this surrogacy thing where they take women who at least are supposedly volunteering for this, they pay them well, they treat them well, and they impregnate them with the sperm or whatever, with the DNA, sperm, egg, all that of the rich family who wants a baby so that they can have their own baby, but it just grows in someone else's womb, basically, which is a thing that we do in our world today. However, in this world, it is evil because the bad guys are doing it. Reading this, I was like, why is this evil? Why is this bad? If these women are volunteering and they are being well paid, it's only evil because the bad guys are doing it. And a theme in this book has suddenly become that birth parents are like the most important thing, and how could you ever give up a baby, and what kind of monster could give up a baby? And I don't like that theme at all, and I feel like it's a damaging theme. How could you ever give away a baby even though you got into this program to have a baby for someone else? It makes me so mad. I'm getting carried away. I just wandered off from my notes already. So the good news is that Gaia has finally picked, because if you remember in the second book, she had this horrible love square that I hated and I was very mad at her for, but she has picked, she has chosen Leon, who is my boo, even though his personality has also changed for this book, but thank goodness. The only thing is in this book that Gaia has decided that because she has picked Leon, she cannot speak to or go near the other guys who were like possibilities. Like, at least one of them still wants to be her friend, but she's like, no, I am in a relationship, I cannot talk to you now. And it's not because Leon is being all possessive and being like, don't talk to other guys. Gaia has decided this on her own, that she is not allowed to speak to other men now that she's in a committed relationship, and that is just stupid. Gaia also meets Leon's sister, who is like closer to her age, and she's talking to Leon's sister, and she's like, I've never had a sister before. Bitch! What about Maya, your baby sister, who basically gets forgotten about? I was really disappointed in that too, in the second and in this book. I was really looking forward to Gaia kind of raising up her baby sister and the relationship that they could have together, and instead, little Maya is basically put on the back burner. So, like I mentioned before, Leon has also undergone a bit of a character change. While previously, he definitely gave off the vibe of secretly a nice guy who was forced to be a jerk, now he gives off the vibe of secretly a jerk who is pretending to be a nice guy, and I am not a fan. I think the author was trying a little bit too hard to suddenly make him a bad boy. In the first book, it was done well because, like, he had his sense of duty and his sense of responsibility, but underneath he was a sweetheart that didn't want to hurt anyone. Now, it seems like he definitely wants to hurt people, and it's only because, you know, it might offend his new girlfriend that he doesn't. Gaia has, like, a desirable, I forget, like, blood type or genetic something or other, because of course she does, that they want. And so they're like, okay, we're gonna do this extreme procedure and harvest your ovaries? I forget why, but they needed her ovaries for something, experimentation or something. And Gaia does not consent. And they're gonna do it anyway because they're the bad guys. And I'm like, I think they needed her ovaries because of something to do with her eggs, and I was like, why not just harvest her eggs throughout her life? I was very confused by this plot point, can you tell? Gaia has a very special skill. Her skill is walking into traps. She frequently just walks right into enemy hands. She was smart in previous books, and now what happened? What happened, Gaia? You turned into Katniss and you became not smart. Now, I will say that as much as they are not like the characters that they were from the previous two books, I still did enjoy Gaia and Leon when they were together being coupley. It was still sweet. Otherwise, all of their interactions with other people were really frustrating, but together I still liked them. The ending to this book is very, interesting, and like the way that Gaia goes about succeeding involves like a convoluted combination of explosions and diplomacy and failed explosions, and it's kind of a mess. This whole book is kind of a mess. It feels very much like the author didn't know what she wanted or what she was planning, and so she just started throwing stuff at the wall to see what would stick, leaning very heavily on previous overthrow the government type stories, you know, like the Hunger Games, and it just did not work for me. So those were my thoughts on Promised. I felt like it failed to live up to the setup that Birthmarked, the original book, had given it. After reading Birthmarked, I had so much hope that the next books would get better and better, and they did not, and in fact I think they got worse and worse, and the third one is definitely my least favorite. So those are my thoughts. What did you think? Have you read any of these books? Probably not. I think they're pretty obscure. I haven't heard anybody talking about them, at least. Comment below and let me know some of your favorite dystopians that don't use a lot of tropes. Don't forget that I post new videos Mondays and Fridays. All of the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of clicking. And of course, if you liked what you saw here but you really wish it was higher quality, come on, Julian, what are you doing using a 10-year-old camera? What even is this? Remember that you can support me on Patreon. All of the support that I get from Patreon is going to very slowly accumulate so that I can get better equipment. And if you help out for as little as $1 a month, it'll go faster. And I hope to see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! What's up, everybody? It is shout out time. Time to shout out to my very first patron, Kim. And if you want to be cool like Kim, become a patron over on Patreon.